Dear viewers, welcome back on this channel, where we bring you the series called Bible Summary. Today, we continue with episode 6, which takes our attention to Genesis chapter 6. A chapter that marks a significant turning point in the history of humanity. This is the chapter where we see the world spiraling into moral decay, leading to God's decision to cleanse the earth with a flood. But it's also a chapter of hope, where one man's faithfulness opens the door to a new beginning. Genesis chapter 6 begins with a troubling observation: when human beings began to increase in number on the earth, and daughters were born to them, the sons of God saw that the daughters of humans were beautiful, and they married any of them they chose. This mysterious verse has sparked much debate, but what's clear is that humanity was crossing boundaries that should not have been crossed, leading to further corruption and wickedness on the earth. The passage continues with these sobering words: "The Lord saw how great the wickedness of the human race had become on the earth, and that every inclination of the thoughts of the human heart was only evil all the time." Imagine that, a world so consumed by evil, that every thought, every inclination of the heart, was corrupt. It's a stark reminder of the depth of human sin and its devastating impact on creation. God's response to this widespread wickedness is one of sorrow and judgment. The text says, "The Lord regretted that he had made human beings on the earth, and his heart was deeply troubled." This is not a change of mind in the human sense, but an expression of God's grief over the moral state of his creation. God then declares, "I will wipe from the face of the earth the human race I have created, for I regret that I have made them." This is a powerful statement of divine judgment, God's righteous response to a world that has completely turned away from him. But in the midst of this darkness, a glimmer of hope emerges. The text introduces us to Noah with these words: "But Noah found favor in the eyes of the Lord." Noah's life stands in stark contrast to the rest of humanity. He is described as a righteous man, blameless among the people of his time, and he walked faithfully with God. Here, once again, we see the theme of walking with God, just as Enoch did in the previous chapter. Noah's faithfulness in a corrupt world is what sets him apart. It's a powerful reminder that even when the world around us falls into chaos, we can still choose to live righteously, to walk with God, and to find favor in his eyes. God reveals his plan to Noah, a plan to cleanse the earth through a great flood, but also to preserve life through an ark. God instructs Noah to build this massive vessel, specifying its dimensions and the materials to use. This ark becomes a symbol of salvation, God's means of preserving a remnant through the coming judgment. Noah's obedience to God's instructions is crucial. The text says, "Noah did everything just as God commanded him." This simple statement speaks volumes. Noah's trust in God, his willingness to follow God's commands, even when it must have seemed daunting or foolish to others, is what ultimately leads to the salvation of his family and the preservation of life on earth. So, what can we learn from Genesis chapter 6? First, it's a sobering reminder of the consequences of sin. When humanity chooses to reject God and pursue wickedness, it leads to destruction and judgment. But amidst this, we also see the incredible power of righteousness and faith. Noah's life shows us that one person's faithfulness can make a world of difference, literally. God is both just and merciful. While he cannot overlook sin, he provides a way of salvation for those who walk with him. The story of Noah and the ark points us forward to the ultimate act of salvation in Jesus Christ, who offers us refuge from the judgment to come and the hope of a new beginning. As we reflect on this chapter, let's consider our own lives. Are we walking faithfully with God like Noah, even when the world around us seems to be falling apart? Are we willing to obey God, even when it's difficult or seems unreasonable, in a world that often feels as chaotic as the one described in Genesis chapter 6? We are called to be people who walk with God, who find favor in his eyes, and who hold on to the hope of his salvation. Thank you for joining me today. If you found this message meaningful, please like, share, and subscribe for the continuity of this series. Remember, just as Noah walked with God, so can we, trusting in his guidance and mercy. Until next time, may God's peace and protection be with you.